I know that I'm doing things a little differently because normally I do show my face. However, I am not ready and I'm just, like, I just want something chill right now, like, God, stop being all up on me. Goddamn. But, anyways, so for Aries rising, the message that the full moon in Libra has for you is to get out of your head, get out of your thoughts. I feel like there's this need to, like, not overthink so much, because I feel like that's what keeps you stuck. I feel like you overthink, like, I gotta do this, I have to do that, just because you do have the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Swords up here. And I feel like that's all about overthinking. You're in your head. I feel like you need to start realizing that you are that girl, you are that bitch, like, regardless if people feel like you're self-centered. And the funny thing is that you have your oracle card out here and it's self-centered. Newsflash: the world doesn't revolve around you. You are not the center of anyone's universe. The sooner you get a grasp on this, the better off you'll be. However, I don't think that is your case here. I feel like that's kind of like what you're lacking. You're lacking that sense of, like, actually being selfish and actually putting yourself first rather than putting other people first. I feel like you tend to get in your head when people say really negative shit about you, but at the end of the day, that should not phase you, because you do have the Queen of Wands. This is your season. This is you. Like, even though it's your rising sign, it's still authentically you. Like, that's the type of energy you should have around you, that passionate, that I'll support you in anything, that boldness, that leadership position. So I feel like that's kind of like the energy you need to really embody, Aries rising. And you got to connect to your cats, or maybe you are with yourself and you just need to really talk and speak to your cats. Maybe someone's gonna get a cat, because I have the fox and a cat, so it's like cat energy, maybe black cat energy. Maybe that's what you need to embody. Maybe you just need to go to the club and feel yourself, get ready, get dolled up. Especially if you've been working a lot and you've been two in your head and two in your emotions, because you literally have swords and cups and you have the wand, so it's about creation. So maybe get back into your creative energy and not so much on the overthinking and so much on your emotions. So that's the message I have for you, Aries rising, and happy full moon for you. All right, for Taurus risings, what I see for you is a breakthrough. I don't know if this full moon in Libra is really going to put into perspective for you. Maybe an awakening, a spiritual awakening. Maybe when you're out and about, it's just going to hit you and you're going to be like, oh my God, like, what have I been doing these past few months? And that's good. Honestly, never feel like it's too late, especially right now, because it is Aries season. And I literally talked about this in the beginning of the video, how this is when the new astrological calendar starts again. So this is all about, like, renewal and starting again and, like, just marking the new year. So it's a good thing that you're coming into focus with this, because you are lacking focus. So that's literally your reading. I feel like right now you just need to move slowly to regaining that focus and to really embody yourself, because sorry. Anyways, I do feel like you have amazing goals. I feel like you do envision a lot for yourself. However, you need to slowly and progressively move yourself towards that, rather than going through your journey and just losing focus and, like, going on side quests that have nothing to do with your goals. Maybe you just tend to so many other people, but you don't tend to yourself. And it's in Libra. The full moon is in Libra, so that makes sense. Like, Libras tend to give a lot, but I feel like this whole full moon in Libra is going to teach us how to be more selfish in the right ways. Or it could also be the downfall of some people, where you start to realize that there's a lot more people being selfish rather than selfless. So maybe pay attention to your friend groups and be like, are you really here for me, or you're only here to benefit from me, or to, like, get something out of me, And I feel like that's when you need to be realistic and get out of your head and just get out of the clouds and begin to see things the way they really are, rather than trying to gaslight yourself and say, no, they would never do that to me, like, they're good people. Because how they might be good people, but at the end of the day, they'll still sabotage something good for you that will benefit them at the end of the day, you know. Also what I see, it's like, I feel like if you tend to be stubborn and see things through these like rose colored glasses, it's gonna lead to a lot of pain and embarrassment and loss from your part. So I feel like just for embrace this like focusedness that you're gonna regain, and that's gonna hit you randomly throughout this like lunar phase. Just make sure to pay attention. Just shut up and pay attention. Don't help anyone. Just lock back in, you know, slowly lock back in, but don't make it obvious, because I feel like people are really looking towards you and like observing you and kind of like seeing your next move kind of thing. You're also very focused on finances, so I feel like that's really good, because you have the Page of Pentacles reverse and then you have the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like that's all about, like, obviously Pentacles is about work environment, so I feel like maybe that's where you should probably put your energy more towards, is work. Just lock in, go to work, do what you need to do. Don't allow other people to get a hold of you at this moment. Alrighty, my Gemini rising, how are you guys doing? I am a fellow Gemini rising, so I hope you guys find yourselves doing well. Happy full moon in Libra. So the message I have for you today is stop being petty, for real, because you have the Five of Swords out here. Stop being petty. Stop using people's past to take a jab at them, to stab them. Don't stab people in the back. This is not the time for you to do that. I feel like this could be a Pisces, or there's something about going back and forth with the Pisces. There's no reason for you to go back and forth with the Pisces, because you will be stagnant. It's just not going to bring anything good for you, and it's just going to make you really aggressive. I feel like there's no reason for you to prove yourself during this lunar phase. There's no reason for you to be aggressively like wanting to be a leader. Like, there's no need for that. Like, why are you trying to be petty? Like, you're trying to be petty, but there's also this sense of wanting to be like deceptive. Like, you don't want anyone to know anything about you or like what you're doing. Like, you're never gonna regain your identity or your reputation like that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like reputation energy coming through this pile, because the thing about Geminis is that they're really cutthroat and they're honest, but there's no reason for you to try to win a battle that's not even there. Like, just be your chill self. Just be in the clouds a little longer and don't pay attention to other people, because other people will try to get you out of your shell, and if you budge, you're gonna explode, and that's not what we want you to do during this full moon. So please just be careful, be cautious about it, be strategic about it. I would say with the King of Wands reverse, I don't know why I'm reading it upright, but like, focus on your projects. Focus on what can make you a better person, rather than like a mean dictator energy kind of. But let me pull one more card for you. Oh, that was fast. Yeah, like, tap back into your spirituality. It says there is a good reason you have those dreams. So what did I literally say before I even shuffled? The King of Wands. Focus on your leadership. Focus on your dreams, like your intuition, your High Priestess victories. Like how I said, people are going to try to get you out of this like good, amazing energy that you're in, but there is no reason for you to be petty. Like, no reason. Just shut the fuck up, go to your room, focus on your dreams, plan out your dreams. Like, go take a spiritual bath, go cleanse yourself, go do something other than like try to be getting petty with people and going back and forth with someone. Because regardless, like, I know Geminis like fighting and shit. Like, I am a Gemini rising, so I enjoy fighting every once in a while. But yeah, you guys, stay safe. All right, Cancer rising. Damn, my boyfriend's a Cancer rising. You guys are guys are really sweet, but I hear that Cancers have a really bad reputation. but it's okay. I mean, I don't mind. I'm just kidding. It's not, that's just the Scorpio in me talking, like, oh, I don't mind, like, you guys aren't that bad, because you guys aren't that bad, like, when you guys are involved. Anyways, I'm just yapping at this point, but I'm pretty sure you're here for your reading, so let me get to that. I feel like this full moon in Libra is really gonna highlight your ego, and I feel like you're just gonna be so tired. I feel like right now you're just tired, like, why am I being tested back and forth everywhere, like you're just exhausted. And honestly, like, take a fucking break, you know. Like, you do have the strength card in reverse, which signifies ego to me. I feel like you're just in your ego so much that you don't realize that sometimes it's not about work. Sometimes it's about, like, nurturing yourself, feeling yourself, being in that Empress energy. Like, I feel like, especially if you're trying to get pregnant, I feel like if you're trying really hard to get pregnant, it's not going to come true because you're so, like, fixated on it, you know? So that's really, like, and it's crazy because I do have this owl card here. So it's like, I feel like you know this, you know, because owls are really intelligent. Like, you know, the reason why something's not birthing or something's not coming to fruition is because, you know, you're not well rested. You're not planning accordingly. You're in your ego, like, you want it now kind of energy. And I feel like if life has been like trying you and testing you, I feel like it's kind of like the universe is testing you in the sense of you not, like, it doesn't want you to become bitter, like, but it wants you to become greater. Like, it wants you to act like this shit doesn't faze me, because at the end of the day, I have complete trust in God and the universe, you know. So I feel like your faith and your ego's highly being tested during this time, or this whole lunar cycle. It's going to be tested. So I feel like that is something you really need to focus on, and, like, not emotionally react to it. Much rather be like wise, be like, oh, I see it for what it is, you know, like, this shit don't faze me, I'm good, I'm straight kind of energy. So try to embody that energy, try to embody that unbotheredness, you know. Like, if you feel like there's something, like, being shown to you and you don't like it, fuck, dude, go take a shower and you'll feel better. I guarantee you feel better after, like, that bath, and you're gonna be like, damn, I'm happy I didn't, like, emotionally react to that. Because one thing about Cancers is that you guys are really explosive at the moment and then regret it later. So try not to do that this full moon, you know. All right, my Leo risings, how are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. I know that I've been gone for, like, hella long, but hey, I'm here. Hello. I don't know if you guys might be dealing with the Scorpio with air placements during this time, or you're thinking about someone with Scorpio placements. I feel like maybe there was, like, sorry if you hear the ice cream man in the back. Maybe you need an ice cream, I don't know. Maybe you just need to relax, talk to your inner child. But anyways, I feel like someone went through a tower moment, and I feel like you're doing some planning and you're, like, going full speed ahead. You're going full speed ahead after this trial tribulation, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like after this, like, devastating loss that you might have taken, this abrupt ending, for some of you guys, I do feel like it's time to start planning, start to seeing what bigger and better things you want for yourself, and then just take action. But I feel like what this full moon in Libra is going to teach you is patience, honestly, because Libras are very patient, they're very balanced. So I feel like that is the main theme. Like, yeah, let's plan and go full speed, but at the same time practice patience and be like, okay, well, it's like practicing and having optimistic energy to it. Like, all right, well, if that wasn't for me, that didn't work out, that's fine, on to the next kind of energy. Your oracle says, be patient. One of our greatest virtues is patience. Learn to be patient with yourself and others. So patience can be really highlighted during this time for you. My Virgo risings, you know, I'm gonna give it to you straight because I love Virgos for that same reason. But honestly, what this full moon in Libra is really going to bring forward for you is strength and how to be selfish. I feel like especially if within your relationships have not been equal give and take, and if you're so stubborn that you don't walk away from certain things that you know, certain things or habits that you know are healthy for you, your blessings will be put on a hold for you. And I feel like that's what you're going to see within this lunar phase, that things will be held back from you until you are fully devoted to yourself and you're fully wanting to move to calmer waters and wanting to like dedicate yourself to yourself rather than to nonsense that might be around you. I feel like your oracle card says strength. You will never know just how strong you really are until being strong is your only choice. So you could either participate or not participate, because you still won't participate somehow. So I feel like this is kind of a warning, and it's pretty fucked up, but like if you really want things to move forward for you in a very positive direction, I feel like it's time to make that switch to be like, all right, like I kind of have to get my shit together. And you do, honestly. And I feel like I need to pull more cards for you, because honestly, when I was pulling cards for you, this was really direct. Like I pulled cards and this has been the most direct spread I've done today. Honestly, I was like, damn. Yeah, like it's back to get back. You have the Page of Cups right here. It's all about getting back to your creativity, all about like getting back to that inner child within yourself, to just get back to yourself. Like it's time to pour back into your cup. It's time to, and it's so funny because there's a fish, so I suggest you to talk to a Pisces, especially when it comes to certain things that you cannot speak about to other people, because regardless of like Virgos being an earth sign, they're still a little bit emotional. And I feel like they are literally the only earth signs that can really understand a water sign, because they're emotional themselves, even though they try to act like they're not, and they're like mean and shit. Like they're actually really emotional beings. And I feel like Virgos are just really slept on, and it's pretty fucked up. Whether you're a Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, it doesn't matter. I feel like you still have those attributes of a Virgo. But I hope that message helps you find clarity. Get your shit together is literally the message here, and I can't be more direct than that, you know? All right, Libra risings. Girl, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just kidding. You have your card. You have the Justice card right here. So it's all about duality and balance and justice in general. I feel like some of you guys are dealing with a baby daddy, because I do have the King of Cups out here. And I feel like there's just this third party situation that you need to find balance within. And I do feel like this full moon and Libra is going to really highlight that, or this lunar cycle is really going to highlight that, problems like with your baby daddy, and like maybe you guys are going to figure out how to help each other or help one another on like when things become a little bit overwhelming, especially if there's kids involved. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of like working together. It might be a little bit more difficult to work with them during this time, but however, that was a specific message for a specific someone. Take what resonates, take what doesn't. I feel like for my single people or someone not dealing with their baby daddy, I do feel like there's going to be a water sign coming forward. Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer coming forward. However, I feel like this is more Pisces energy, so I feel like just be careful. I just see like the Three of Pentacles reverse. It could be someone from work, or it could also be like someone that's like seeing other options, and they might be coming off across really emotional and mature, like really emotionally mature. And I feel like they see you as this like really balanced individual. I feel like this is not something to really like freak out about. I just feel like when people are single and people are seeing each other, it's completely fine to like see other people, you know, and keep their options open. But if you're wondering on how this person's seeing you right now, they see you really balanced, really like, all right, like she knows what she wants kind of energy. And for some other folks, I feel like there's gonna be a problem related to work, and it could be a boss, or it could be your significant other trying to help you. And like your oracle, it's funny because your oracle card literally says get help. So I feel like sometimes it's good to open up to people that want to listen to you rather than like holding it in inside, because those things will accumulate and you will eventually be crashing out. So during this full moon in Libra, it's all about communicating how you really feel. It's about finding communication, finding help, trying to put yourself in other people's perspective, but not too much to the point where it's like destroying you, but so much so to the point where you're calling the shots and you're very authoritative. So it's really about being authoritative, but also being really in tune with your emotions during this full moon in Libra. So that's the message I have for you today. And yeah, you guys, enjoy your full moon. You know, this full moon in Libra is gonna bring forward a lot of good energy for you, especially when it comes to creativity. Yep, sir, you just need to find the strength on just how to bring forward your ideas to the physical realm. However, don't do this in like a very deceptive way where it's like, yeah, I did all the work and like I know what I'm talking about. Like, no, you are a student always, through and through. You're not perfect, and I know because you're a Scorpio rising and I'm a Scorpio sun moon. And sometimes people, well, I tend to get into my ego sometimes and be like, oh, you know, like, why the fuck does this person think they know much more than me? But honestly, I have done my best to outgrow that, because I really don't like that part of myself, because it's like a little too much, you know, like it's a little too much. Like, I like to see it in perspective of like, hey, like people are trying to teach me and I should be understanding of that rather than try to fight against it. And I also see there might be a fire sign that's pretty deceptive around your energy. This could be at work though, because you have the Eight of Pentacles reversed, so it could also be at work here. There is a new beginning though, new opportunities coming forward your way. I feel like there's, let me put more cards on this, because it's like, can you tell me more about this Seven of Swords? Oh my god. Okay, so straight up though, if you're dealing with a fire sign, which is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, this person is making you lose focus. This could be like for someone specifically, but this fire sign is making you lose focus. I do feel like there's going to be a disappointment. I feel like there's just like, you're going to be in this very depressive episode, and I feel like it's just going to bring a lot of heartbreak. So I feel like that's what you're going to see this full moon in Libra. Something's going to be shown to you. It's going to come to your awareness that you're like, hey, maybe this person is not as good as I think they are. And it's going to cause a heartbreak. However, I do feel like once that heartbreak hits, try to focus on going into your money, like getting your money up, and not like indulge into negative shit. You know, because it's really easy, especially when we're like heartbroken and like we're going through things. It's really hard to indulge into things because we're already sad. But for my other people that are dealing with a relationship and like you're feeling some type of lack of focus, I feel like it's because deep down, like, you really need to deal with your emotions. I feel like, especially if you came from a heartbreak, a friendship heartbreak, any type of heartache, I feel like that's why things aren't really coming forward to you. You're not really seeing these new opportunities clearly for you, because you're in this really like kind of sad girl phase in your life. And I feel like Spirit wants you to move out of that and like regain your focus and start planning even if you're sad. Like, just tell yourself, like, I don't want to be sad, like, I don't know, like, just talk yourself out of this, you know, because you are able to talk yourself out of it if you really want to, if you really have that strength, you know. Like, no one else is supposed to have it, no one else is supposed to want it more than you. So I feel like that is your message for this full moon in Libra. From all of the cards I've read, Sagittarius risings, you guys are gonna be the ones with the win, with the victory. You know, nothing, I don't expect nothing less from my Sagittarius risings. However, I do feel like you're gonna go down with memory lane, because you do have the Six of Cups here. So this could either be someone from your past coming through again, it could be an Aries, or the fact that Aries season is going to be a really good season for you. I feel like you're just going to have a lot of eyes on you during this time, during this lunar phase, especially during the full moon in Libra. You might feel like a lot of like perseverance energy coming from you, and I feel like that's what's going to keep a lot of people intrigued by you. And I feel like the Six of Cups, especially if you're reconnecting with the Aries, or with an Emperor, or with the masculine energy here, I feel like this person's gonna see you through and through. Like, they're gonna be like, damn, that's my girl, that's who I want to be with. Just because you do have the Six of Wands out here, and that's about like recognition, being like a girl boss, being who you want to be. You know, they have a solid image of who you want to be, and I feel like they support that, and they'll give you stability, they'll give you what you need in order to achieve that. And honestly, overall, it's a really good spread. For some, though, I do feel like you guys need to take more leadership when it comes to who you want to become, because I feel like people lack that they lack that stability. I feel like sometimes we need to find that stability within ourselves to really become who we want to become, you know. And there's just going to be a lot of childhood healing. I feel like maybe what's going to be shown to you during this this full moon in Libra is going to be like the fact that you had to really step up for yourself when you were a child. And I feel like that's something you should learn how to be proud of, you know. And it takes a lot for people to like admit that to themselves, because they see other people and like, oh, they have their mom, they have their dad. But honestly, don't see it that way. You are a very strong individual, and you should be proud of that. Like, you've been got yourself a long time, you know. And a lot of people wish they're able to do that. A lot of people, I'm gonna put more cards, but I feel like a lot of more people struggle with finding that power to be independent, to be like authoritative, you know, because they were like spoon-fed. But you weren't. You were strong, you got through it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to Sagittarius risings, how independent and how they could literally stand by themselves. But I feel like people have this like negative connotation around Sagittarius, where it's like, oh, they need people to like help them, they need people to do this for them. But that's not really how that is. I feel like Sagittarius are really independent and really like, I'm gonna get shit going if I want to. It's really if they want to kind of energy. Conquer. Today you are a conqueror. You are able to overcome anything life throws at you. Let's do this. So what did I just say? You have that independence, you have that fire in you to do whatever the fuck you want to do, and don't allow anyone else to take that power from you, because there is a victory here. So whatever you want to do it, and you're gonna win regardless, you know. You know what's so funny, Capricorn rising, that when I was shuffling your cards, I literally, because I watch a lot of podcasts, right, when I'm like doing homework or I'm going to work and stuff. Maybe you should probably get into that, like, just in order to get you out of your head, because I do feel like your indecision is really coming forward during this full moon in Libra, or this whole lunar cycle. You'll probably see yourself being more stubborn, in the sense of like, I don't want to make a decision. No, like, what if these people, what if these situations, what if this job does me worse than my other one, like I can't, like I feel like, because you have the Four of Cups here, so obviously like the universe is trying to offer you like a different cup, but you're so focused on the past rather than the present or the future. You're just like thinking, and I feel like this indecisiveness coming from you is what making this whole like lunar cycle really like stressful and dreadful and like just annoying overall, is because you're just like carrying so much, and you're not realizing that there's like so much more than meets the eye. You're so stuck on our perspective, and I feel like that's the way you guys mourn, though. That's what I've realized about Capricorns. That's the way you mourn, is like going through like that disappointment phase and just fucking really feeling it through. So that's just how you guys deal with emotion. So I can't give you that like, oh, you can't do that, like you shouldn't do that, because that's just how you deals with emotions, and that's completely fine. However, there is better alternatives to doing that. Like maybe you could overthink and go for a hike or something, and it gives you a different perspective, you know. Like don't just shut yourself out and stay in your room and just like look at the wall. Like no, like if you're sad and like you're disappointed in yourself, go on a walk or something and think about it. Like don't limit your perspective onto things, because you don't know, one day you could literally look at the ground and be like, damn, like why am I so sad, and it just hits you. But anyways, I feel like this full moon in Libra is really gonna make you sit your ass down and take some time off from your busy, stressful world around you, in order to really feel your emotions and see how you're really feeling. If you're experiencing like some type of like disappointment in yourself, like it's going to be time for you to really go on a hike and really think about like what's really making you happy, what's really making you like feel like this, you know. And I feel like this could also be for someone that's like thinking about, because you have the Two of Pentacles reverse. This is for someone that's like probably maneuvering through jobs, and like maybe you guys kind of like got disappointing news when it came to getting this job, and like maybe they rejected you, and you're kind of stuck in this phase of like, oh, I don't know, like should I even try to look for another job? Yes, you should. Most definitely you should, because this is a test from the universe literally telling you like, hey, big fucking deal, you know, people get rejected every day. It is what it is. Are you gonna learn how to wiggle your toes in the grass and get back on the ground, or are you going to be here depressed, you know? So I feel like that's what this full moon in Libra is going to teach you, is how to find duality and like balance within yourself, and how to deal with your emotions in a very much healthier way than beating yourself down and getting depressed. All right, Aquarius rising. So what I have for you today for this full moon in Libra, especially if you're going out and having a good time, do not drink and drive, please, because that's not going to lead to something good. And I'm not wishing bad upon you, but dude, like I feel like the universe is teaching you like, hey, like if you are doing any type of substance abuse, you need to relax, you need to chill. And I feel like that's heavily what the universe is going to bring forward for you. This full moon in Libra is balance, is getting back into who you are meant to be, because there's this lack of communication. It could either be between you and your higher self, or between you and a Capricorn, or an Aquarius, another fellow Aquarius. But there's this miscommunication. It could either be between, I feel like someone has an Aquarius, a sun, and Capricorn moon, or Capricorn rising, but something's not clicking, Steven, and it's gonna show you during this full moon in Libra. I feel like there's gonna be a need for you to also really step into your power, because I feel like there's this like breakage that's coming through from you. Like you're kind of like overcoming certain obstacles, like really toxic behaviors, toxic things, and it's allowing you to flourish. But also, let me pull more cards. Oh, it's like you fought so much, like you're allowing things to, let me move my table up a little bit because it's getting very serious right now. It's getting really, really serious. But I think that you might have experienced a heartbreak or like a friendship break, and that have made you like shut people out. It may have made you shut out yourself a little bit, because you do have the Fool in reverse, and that's like an Aquarius card, but it's in the reverse. Makes you foolish, makes you really like what's the word? Oh my god, I have it on the tip of my tongue and I forgot. It makes you really like, I won't say ignorant, but it could be a little bit of that. It makes you not foolish, because it's not that. It's very like, it's just giving, I don't know the word for it. It's giving that energy of like you're in la 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 land, because you don't want to deal with things. You don't want to deal with the emotions. You don't want to deal with like maybe your toxic behaviors, maybe the things that you haven't really healed within yourself. And I feel like that's what's kind of been keeping you stuck a little bit, is because you're not really facing your demons like you should. But however, for other people, how I was saying, I do feel like you really broke yourself out of this like this thought process, these really bad behaviors. And I feel like the universe is really like making you take a step back and really see that for yourself, and being like, all right, like you've been through so much, now it's time to really get your shit together and like bloom and like do whatever you need to do in order to be at a better place in your life. But I see these other people that have like not really done that, and they're really asking themselves like, oh, you know, like why haven't I not done this, like why have I not seen this coming forward for me? And it's really because they're not really healing. They don't want to heal. And I feel like because people don't deal with like those emotions, they become reckless. That was the word I was looking for, reckless. And like they have these impulsive decisions, even when it comes to friendships, or like wasting money and like giving money. And it's just like overall this really impulsive purchase, or like this impulsiveness that doesn't really lead them anywhere, you know. And I feel like there's this, sorry, I'm drinking water. There's this need of like having to break free from that, having to break free from like not dealing with your emotions. And that's literally what the full moon and Libra is going to bring for you, is really seeing that and making you balance out your emotions, whether you like it or not, especially if you're resisting. But if you're the individual that's really like literally broke free and like took time to like really analyze where they were at, I feel like there's good things coming for you regardless, and you're gonna have a very blissful, a very bloomful, if that's even a word, bloomful lunar cycle. All right, Pisces rising. So I do feel like what this full moon in Libra is going to bring forward for you, and what is really going to highlight for you, is your stressfulness and your pride. For sure your pride though. So your oracle card says, pride, never be too proud to ask for help. Everyone needs a little help every now and then, even you. And then there's a cat in the picture, so I think maybe you just need to be an animal lover again and like connect to your cat, be in your house, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. You don't have to be in your house, but like maybe your cats want more attention, or your dogs. However, I see two different scenarios here, so I'm just gonna start off with one. I see the Nine of Wands as being really protective of your emotions, and I feel like this is what kind of stressing you out at the end of the day. And I feel like this relationship, the situationship, it could be a Gemini, it could be a Cancer, I don't know who you're dealing with, but I feel like this person kind of, you don't really trust this person, and that's completely fine, but don't allow it to get mixed up with pride and be like, nah, like I'm better than they are, like nah, like I already know what you're trying to do, like it's not gonna work. I feel like you're just gonna fumble yourself at the end of the day, and I feel like it's just you're gonna be in a very regretful mood if you do, and if you mess this up. I feel like there's nothing to be worried about. I just think that you're just overthinking it, and you're setting up boundaries that shouldn't be there yet, You know, yeah, like you just need to focus on like nurturing yourself and don't be so jealous and so greedy with things. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles right here that flew out, it talks about greediness, it talks about jealousy. Like maybe you're just experiencing a lot of jealousy when it comes to this individual, and I feel like that could also be something, yeah, it could also be something that like they probably don't like, but at the same time it kind of brings them a little bit of happiness, like, oh, you know, she cares about me. Or maybe they do certain things in order to get a reaction out of you, because you do have the sun here, so you could be dealing with a Leo or a Gemini or a Cancer. I feel like this is something like, oh, you know, like whenever they do make you jealous, they get like a reaction out of you. They're kind of happy, because I feel like you the type of person that doesn't really show emotion that much. So whenever they do get a reaction out of you, they kind of like it, and they're like, okay, like she cares. But how the universe said, don't take it too far, to the point where like your pride takes over and you're just like, oh, like they'll stay. Like people don't really stay up there. Yeah, like if you keep it up, they'll just see you as a player, like, oh, you know, like they don't really care, they're just trying to play me kind of energy. So just be careful with your energy, don't be doing too much now. I know you like when people think you care, but well, you do care, you're a Pisces rising, but don't be too mean to people, you know, because Pisces could be really mean. That's what I've noticed about you guys. But I hope you guys enjoy your full moon in Libra. Stay safe, and yeah, until next time, you guys.